all, let's dive in a little bit into the Panthers here. So, um, they knocked off the 65-win Bruins in 7 games. Now we watched that game together. Matt, what did you think when you saw Carter Verhaeghe put that past Swayman in Game 7?
I felt like the road for a lot of teams got so much easier once Verhaeghe put that puck behind Jeremy Swayman. Like just the sheer, I don't want to say luck, but the Panthers, like the storylines down 3-1, Kachuk at the end of Game 5 saying we'll be back here for Game 7, kept his word, kept his promise. And for the Panthers to do that, to be honest with you, I still can't believe it. Like the 65 win Bruins knocked off in the first round. Ridiculous.
Gone, gone. Maybe setting historical regular season records is just it's a bad omen for playoff teams. So like maybe be bad on purpose once you close the playoffs. Seems like the move here. But
That's the strategy.
Boston, Patrice Bergeron playing with a herniated disc. We watched him in that last game. He was kind of a non-option, and it was a little sad to see. Maybe not for me because I don't like the Bruins and I hate them. But it's like the guy's playing. He herniated his disc in the last game. His father is dealing with, I believe it's cancer, so he wants to play in the last game in Montreal. I think it was in Montreal, and then unfortunately herniated his disc. Didn't look like himself. David Krejci, he was really. It showed that he was really old in the playoffs. Really fast, and their center depth was just kind of washed. Florida took advantage because they have one of the best centers in the league with Barkov. So you can see that. You can kind of see it happening. And apparently Jeremy Swayman was also injured. Sorry, not Swayman. Allmark was injured. So it's like, put Swayman in. He's very, very capable of being a starting goal in the playoffs. So yeah, Boston is interesting. But guys, how do we think the Florida Panthers will fare against the Leafs here in the second round?
Can I just say to follow up on the Bruins thing quickly?
Yeah.
My favorite thing about teams with records like that collapsing is as soon as they do, reporters coming out and saying things that make them look like a clown, like, hey, first round series should be shorter. I thought that was hilarious. That's the funniest part of the entire thing. But yes, to go off of what you said, Florida Panthers are for real. Let's not make any excuses here that the Bruins were a little banged up. The Florida Panthers, their forecheck is unreal, and you can see in being down 3-1 to the Bruins, and the fact that the Bruins are the Bruins, they're never say die attitude. Like they're here, and they've exploded on the scene. They're ready to take on the Leafs. So I think Barkov has been one of the most underrated players, since he's come into the league. I don't know how he's still underrated. He's so good. He's good with his stick. Yeah, exactly. And he's probably the best defensive center left in these playoffs. So it's going to be hard. Kachuk is playing on another level. We've seen it, and he is built for playoffs. So if Bob can do his thing again, I don't know. The Leafs might be in tough. I still think the Leafs win the series, but
it's gonna be a tough series.
It's gonna be sure. Florida's gonna beat the shit out of them.
Yep. I think another thing is the Panthers. Matt, if you can do me a favor while I'm talking here and look up the Florida Panthers daily faceoff. I do want to say I think Florida is lacking depth defensively when compared to the Leafs. You're looking at a team that is three pairs deep with the Leafs. You have McKay Brody, who were insanely good against Kucherov, Stamkos, and Point. Arguably the best line skill wise in the league. Then you're looking at Riley Shen. Morgan Riley dominated in the playoffs. Comparable to a guy like Brandon Montour, who also had a really good playoffs. I think he scored like 5 goals. And the third pair, hopefully, looks like it's going to be Giordano and Liljegren. Justin Holl might not see ice here. Maybe Holl would look different against a team like Florida because, in my opinion, I think the Leafs have already dealt with the best forward line in hockey because they were all fully healthy. And you know what? They kind of suppressed it and they did good. And I know you're looking at what's the Panthers' first line, Matt? If you can tell me right now.
The first line on daily faceoff right now, you got Verhaeghe on the left, Barkov centering that line, and on the right side you have Anthony Duclair.
Okay, and Duclair had a rough series. Mm-hmm. He was healthy scratch for 1 game. I think plus minus is obviously not the greatest stat, but the guy was a -6. So do what you will with that information. And then Kachuk is on that second line with who?
Bennett centering that line with Nick Cousins on the left side.
Yeah, so Sam, see to me
That
when
is
you're
an
looking at
improbable line.
you're
That is
looking
such a
at
weird line.
Sam Bennett, Matt Kachuk, both former Calgary Flames, and then you have Nick Cousins, who a solid bottom six depth forward, but I don't know how he fares on the 2LW there. And then I think the Leafs match up really well against that. You're looking at I think it's today was Nyes, Matthews, and Nylander,
Nylander. I have it
and then
here.
you and yeah,
Yarncroke,
and then you
Tavares,
had
Marner. Second line.
I think that bottom six is a lot better on paper.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tavares scored that overtime winner, but to me he did look kind of lethargic to say the least. During that series, like people forget he had a hat trick in that series. In game two, so it's
Blowout.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, but still, and I think it's gonna be a good series, man. For a lot of forecheck the Leafs have to deal with. They're not the greatest team at dealing with forechecks. They historically, especially, they just get killed on the cycle. And then it's gonna be a lot. What do you think?
I was
David?
gonna say Liljegren adds something because Florida's forecheck's really good. They're making a point out of that, right? Where Tampa's was good as well, but Florida looks like they're just it's a Leafs weakness. So I feel like Florida's gonna try to get in there and kind of expose that. But I think Liljegren adds more speed now on the back end, and he's a little bit better with the puck, I think, than Hall, especially confidence-wise lately, 100%. And what I saw from Shen, especially in Game 6 against the Lightning, the patience to just fend off the four checkers and get that puck onto somebody's tape or off the glass. He looks really good, and I'm really glad they picked him up. So those are two guys that might help. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they match up. It's very Florida played amazing,
Luke
but it's a
Shen,
weird matchup.
Luke Shen looks very mature as a player. Just
Yes.
makes the right play basically every time.
Mm-hmm.
Good partner for Morgan Riley. But Matt, how are you looking into the series as someone who might meet one of these teams in the Cup final?
The key for the Leafs is to expose that Panthers left side defensively because you got Nylander and Marner facing against the likes of Gustav Forsling, Mark Stahl, and Josh Mahura. I
And
mean, and
this guy, Paul Maurice played Marcel like every other shift. It felt like, so we trust him a lot, and he's not very good.
he's not good.
So
That's
so
probably the main key. Like that's such a weak side defensively, as opposed to the right side, with Ekblad, Brandon Montour, who had himself a fantastic series against the Bruins, and Radko Gudas, who I kind of want to see Bunting and Gudas mix it up because those are like sort of the two characters on the respective teams who sort of like to get in each other's faces. Will something happen? Don't know. I'd like to see
yeah,
something happen, but yeah, it's just the contrast in between the left and right side on the Panthers, and
for sure.
finding that weakness, and you can find it obviously.
Yeah, and I think the thing with the Leafs is they don't really have one glaring weakness like that. They've kind of improved in all positions and maybe match up well. I think one of the glaring weaknesses, Makachuk is he a left or right winger?
Left
Right
wing.
winger.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I
he's,
mean
he's
either
on the
wing,
right according to
the
the
wingers
daily
the wingers
faceoff.
just flip sides, but the Leafs, I don't think the Leafs have a like Marner's amazing top tier player, but Matthew Tkachuk was like playing at like heart level candidacy
mm-hmm.
this season. He was very good. The Leafs don't have a winger per se like that, but Mitch Marner is amazing defensively. Matthews and Barkov will probably see a lot of each other throughout the series, just like Matthews saw a lot of Anthony Cirelli. And you can't forget about a player like Anton Lundell, who's very strong defensively. The Panthers are decently deep up front, and they weren't really able to do anything at the deadline because they traded everyone last year when trying to go for it, and then Tampa killed them in the second round. But I think the Leafs will end up taking this at the end of the day. Ilya Samsonov outdueled one of the probably the best goalie in the league at any given point, Andrei Vasilevsky. And he played well. Bobrovsky, he played amazing when he went in, but we know that guy's a little bit inconsistent. Um, Although he does have more of a pattern of being good. And Alex Lyon was first off the ice today, but apparently Paul Maurice does that all the time just to do a little bit of trolling. Which do
Good
whatever
for
you
him.
want, man. But I think the Leafs, it's gonna be a hard fought series. I think it's gonna be a close series. But I think the Leafs I think the Leafs have a better chance against Florida than they did against Tampa. So I will take the Toronto Maple Leafs in 6 games over the Florida Panthers. What about you guys?
It's all about the Leafs getting over that hump. I think the second round will be a lot easier than the first round, and I'm gonna go Leafs in six.
Leafs in 6. I think I've seen a lot on Twitter like, oh, Florida beat Boston. Don't underestimate the Panthers. The Leafs are a way better team. Let's not kid ourselves, okay? Let's not be like the modest little, be humble about it. The Leafs are the better team on paper and in the first round, I think. Beating a better team. I think Tampa in the playoffs is better than Boston, just my opinion. But, I think Leafs in 6. They're a better team, and I think with that mental block gone, sky's the limit.
For more content, visit our YouTube channel and check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to follow the guys on social media at Matt_Mondays, at Nick LaFlame, and at Darius Dominguez.